viewers all around the world, God bless you. Happy Friday. Once again, we are here, and I'm very sure you are also in front of your screen, waiting to listen to the voice of God through the unbottled wine. I must confess, this particular episode, like we said in the previous episode, this particular episode is the dog. Everything you've been waiting to hear, because we know that there are so many persons that have some specific questions that they've been wanting to ask, but they've not really, had the opportunity. We're gonna open so many things in this episode. The particular one that concerns virtually both genders, the the male and the female. This is a very, very important episode. You must be glued to your phone or anywhere you're watching and listening from, because this episode is definitely going to bless your lives. Once again, that is here with us to shed light on these important things, and I know you are all going to be blessed. 100%. So that you are welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, subscribers and followers. Thank you for all that you are doing, questions and your likes and sharing. The Lord bless you and lift you. Happy weekends to you and your family and to our single brothers and sisters. Okay. Sorry, higher for glory to God.
Amen. It is real. We have gotten to that junction where we are going to call a spade, the way the thing take be. And this chapter says, who becomes your spouse? Who becomes your spouse? Let me come down to our level properly. Who should I marry? Mad. That spouse in time said they like the American war. Who should I marry? Okay, before you address the issues here, let me quickly run us through this. Every young person through the process of growth naturally faces three big questions. That's maturity in emotion, will, and wisdom we put together to foster the right sense of judgment. The questions are, which role, number one, which role will religion or Christ play in my life? Number two, which vocation will I choose? Number three, whom shall I marry or whom will be my spouse? Where want to start from there? I dey come on. Okay, you said can likely face it or soon. Okay, you're putting it to us now that every viewer, every listener, everyone watching is likely facing or soon to face one or more of these questions, whether you like it or not. So, moving head forward, let's rub minds on who becomes your spouse. Let's take it from there, as I also expatiate on some of the things you've written here. Yeah, who becomes your spouse?
Definitely is question. It has a question maturity answers you. Maturity questions you,
Okay.
which by reason of maturity you have to answer.
Mm.
Because when you are young, you don't know. When you are younger, you don't know things so much, or you are not able to come to personal decisions. But sense of maturity will ask you, what will religion play in my life? Who do I follow? That's why you see that those who didn't give their life to Christ would definitely yield to one court or to the other. Because they want to find covering. And in terms of career, Maturity questions you. Where are you headed to?
Okay. What next?
What next? Possibly you are out of primary school, you are out of secondary school. And when you are in secondary school, you begin to think, a sense, what do I want to study?
Yeah.
And you tell yourself, I want to be a lawyer. Okay, I want to be this, I want to be that. And while you are pursuing it, and by God's grace, it become what you train to study in the university. And some people too are not able to go to university. Then they go to trade.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, while you're also doing that, age now, maturity is bringing you to ask yourself, who can fit into my life as a wife or a husband? What kind of person do I marry? And these are questions that maturity will ask you. And by reason of maturity,
Yeah.
you have to give adequate answer.
Okay.
And therefore, who becomes your spouse, who becomes your wife, who becomes your husband, is something you have to thoughtfully give the answer to, because it is better to continue. Adult age is longer
Okay.
than your younger age,
Okay.
because from 18 now, or from your early 20s, God help you,
See you die.
you become, you already an adult, and possibly you are through with your university education, and then you are now looking at job. And from 25, your body system will begin to react. And possibly around 30, you say, okay, fine. Or before 30, particularly for the females, before 25 or post, before 30, God helping individuals, they are married. And therefore, is it every female in skirt that is qualified to be your wife? Is it every male in trousers that is qualified to be your wife?
Let's see what. How do we now?
That is what we are treating here.
Okay.
Who becomes my spouse?
Hmm.
Who qualifies to run this destiny with me? Who qualifies to run this agenda of my life? That is why you must know who you are.
Yes, I can see it here.
You must know who you are, because marrying the wrong choice or marrying the wrong person is an imprisonment of your life, of your emotions, of your destiny, of your success, everything, because marriage can uplift you and can break you. So, therefore, it makes you more watchful, more careful, so that you don't just jump at any beautiful girl. You don't just jump at any well-shaped lady. You don't just jump at any handsome man, or because he looks so macho, you say he's qualified. Remember, when God sent Prophet Samuel to Jesse's house to go and anoint for it the king, Samuel saw Eliab, the first son of Jesse.
Yeah, that.
He looked so macho, looked so beautiful, looked so handsome, looked so qualified to become a king, for kingship. And God said, no, I look at the heart. Men look at the outward appearance. And so it is. The beauty of the heart is one of the things you must consider. The beauty of the heart, because out of the abundance of the heart, you have good character.
Yeah.
A well-cultured heart will be a well-cultured character. A well-cultured manner is as a result of a matured heart. Okay? And so, or a disciplined heart. And therefore, who becomes your spouse is a question that maturity asks you, and you must be mature enough to tell yourself, this person is more qualified. I was
saying maturity asks the question.
Yes.
Well, how then do we put or do we where do we place ministers of God if maturity gives us ask the question first? How do we where in which position will ministers of my pastor come in to telling me who becomes my spouse? Because that's honest.
And our pastor is not the one living your life.
Oh.
Frank Very frankly, your pastor is not the one living your life.
A pastor will see you and tell you that this is the person you should get married to.
A pastor gives you a wife. What did Adam tell God? Adam said, the wife you gave to me, the woman you gave to me, lured me to this sin. So no pastor will even try that to any of his members. Say, hey, Angelina is good. Sorry if you're Angelina. Angelina is good for you.
Okay, the place of vision, that's the way it happens now.
The place of vision is part of choice making.
Okay.
Or finding your way to partnership in marriage.
Okay.
But the thing is that every vision God gives you, you have the discipline to maturely handle it. When God gives you a vision, therefore, observe first. Look at it. Because time is what proves every vision. Time. So if it is actually of God, you will know it. That's why first of all, self-discipline, which is and control, self-discipline, self-control, which are elements of maturity. Maturity I'm talking here is not age. A fool at 40 is a fool forever. Methuselah's age is not a contribution. It was not a contribution to the kingdom. He only had plenty children till today. The Bible history don't say another year. Yes. And therefore, your maturity in terms of emotional maturity, in terms of wisdom, your mindset, your makeup, your development, and through the thick and thin life has torn you through. So you have become resilient, and then you know no petty person is fit to drag you back.
But I still want to ask the question, which I know so many persons will ask after listening to this episode. So what then is the role of your pastor in terms of...
Okay, so the role of your pastor comes in when you have seen, you have personally prayed, you have personally done all that is required of you, or everything that is required.
Self-examination, setting how it is, understanding the views of pressure.
Yes, and that's why, first of all, godliness is what our ways.
That has been the foundation of the teaching.
Yes. So, because you've been godly in handling the relationship step by step, and then you are come to the point that I think this one fits in, and prayerfully and all, then that's when you introduce the matter to your pastor to say, Pastor, this is, and then your pastor will ask you how convinced you are.
It should not be the pastor's conviction. No,
not his conviction that works for you. Yeah. So how convinced? He will ask you some progressive questions that will actually show that you know what you are talking about. Because I think so. Then he would guide you.
Yeah.
Ahead.
On Instagram, I bumped into a video talking about marriage and relationships and all. So the pastor was, truthfully speaking, that the only thing he needs you to ask him if you are picking the lady from his church. Just ask him if the lady is actually a church member.
Yes.
So he could just validate for you that, truthfully, she dey come church to this church. So he go fit tell you as the pastor in that food hears that
the little we know this.
Okay, 3 years. Okay, let's check our records. 3 years, 4 years. She has actually been in this church.
Possibly she plays one role or
the other. So it was so sincere that to the extent that he was saying it, that this, and maybe to also guide you spiritually at the start, but choosing the best things are only role of the pastor. Be your partner for life is not actually situation at all. So he say that after telling you or giving you that verdict that either the brother or the sister is his church member, it gives him confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are secure. may not go be like say go carry person wey you no know. But if the person is not attending the church, you'll be able to tell you that this woman not be my only one. She come my church. Oh, if anything happens, don't come and say na my church or man, me put hand for inside it. So he was being sincere. Yeah. The spiritual guidance, he said it is very important, which he would, but he said he's not the one that would enforce this person. He said, go and do your assignment. That is it. Go and do your work. Just like you are saying now, sir. Go and self-examine yourself. Work on yourself. Let the person also work on like this. I oppose that call of church. Yeah.
Or two of them are in the same church. What you just do is you observe. Somebody, maybe the maid is in the choir, the other one is in the ushering department. But it's a matter of growing. While you are growing together, you are looking, you are observing, you are building friendship. You are just naturally and you are also prayerfully, moving ahead. And while you are doing, relationship will just naturally grow, to just grow. But funny enough, many Christians today, they feel too, I don't know what to say. They feel too, that is, they know this person in the same church is not qualified, or is not too, because they know themselves. Okay. And so that is,
Okay, I think I get that.
it's not an existent protocol. That is
They are not fit.
this one, and you want somebody strange. And at the end of the day, going for a strange person will make you have a strange relationship.
Yes.
That would strain you and then, also prick.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And okay, you said being ready to be a spouse begins with you first. Yes. Now this is how they like. How though it's like we already mentioned this in the biggest episode relationship. Being ready to be a spouse begins with you first. So before you point finger as that person that you want to get married to, let the finger come to you first. Yeah. Have you worked on yourself? Curtis. So who told you are not even the wrong person? Who told you have not? You have. How you tell you say you don't like balance?
As you are praying for the right person, so the other person is praying for the right person.
So is every single person needs to have a elder perspective of self. Unless you as a single, I want our viewers to listen to this well. Unless you as a single like and love yourself, you may not be capable of making intelligent decisions or prepare to develop a romantic relationship with another person.
That's true.
So it starts with self. You love your neighbor, love yourself.
Cannot be too naive about your life, and then you say you lead a healthy relationship. The person will get tired of you. If today he has to jack you, he has to whine you, so as to be able to come about. Then tomorrow the same thing again. No, only you get trouble. No? Correct. In fact, you're already a problem and wahala to the person. So why you don't need marriage? Just continue to suck your depression.
Okay. So now we're gonna move to the signs of maturity for marriage. I hear the matter day well. Signs of maturity for marriage. Every young one listening to this particular episode of this podcast, let's start, examining ourselves. Okay? Examine yourself and listen as we dissect this important piece. Signs of maturity for marriage. Before Daddy speaks, I'll read. Maturity is about wisdom. It usually comes after a lot of introspection, philosophical thinking, failure, and learned humility. Failure is part of maturity.
No, failure is one of the failure is one of the trainers of maturity.
If you not fail, you want to understand the right experience to
somebody who has not failed cannot be a good counselor.
I just tell you.
Because somebody who has never failed cannot be a good. So when people brag and say, "I've not failed once," he's not a good counselor. So don't go for it. Don't go to him for
saying I've not failed once. I think I could channel that to proud pretense.
Thank you.
Which we discussed here in the other episode. It is not possible. It's not possible. You've definitely failed once. It's out of that mistake that you'll be able to run and run and run.
One mistake you made, will teach you. Because you lie on your bed, you look at the ceiling, you are left alone to reason yourself and get yourself up.
Like failure and learning it is the capacity to learn from experience that helps a person to make an informed decision. This is very, very true. Very, very true. Nothing teaches better than experience. That is, experience cannot be over. Nothing teaches, but experience gives you the idea to life.
That's it.
It is the decision you made or the steps you took that propels you for a better one. And that's what people call, I was joking with my wife some time ago, and I was like, that child, the next child I want to give birth to, it's just not going to name him experience. He so we laugh. Because I try to understand experience. From every fall, from every decision, from every step, you check, you access, then the next step, to pick. So this is very, very true, sir.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we even talk about failure,
Yeah.
it may not be necessarily your own fault, okay? Partnership in business, the other person didn't keep his own side of the deal, can crash your own side. And then you now learn by wisdom, by experience, that if you are going into business again, into partnership business, you will know how to tidy it up. You know how to tidy it up. So failure can come from any angle. It may not necessarily your own willingness to fail, but those you work with can, it can come through that.
Actually, you are not far from the truth, sir. For everyone that is actually truthful to himself or herself, will be feeling these things we are saying, because that's the reality that you are facing. Now, in the characteristics of maturity here, okay, you explain maturity encompasses the human totality, which involves a person's mental prowess, that's intelligence now, the ability of qualitative and quantitative reasoning and application of productive thinking or thoughts in optimistic manner. Optimistic manner is something we should, try to dwell on. We talked about it also, but there should be a synergy of optimism.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not someone that's always trying to bring about negative. I don't know, nothing work. That one, enough work. You can't do this. Cannot be done. Person that does not really have that foresight, and that's where mental intelligence comes in. You talked about the physical. I would like you to expatiate on this. Where you said the stage of growth and development into adulthood as required to carry functions of responsibility of mature adults. Yeah, I would like to talk about this. Or
say the physical aspects. Yeah. Actually, possibly, the physical aspect is also important. Now, when the Bible says bodily exercise, profited, and body teaching. Yeah. The physical aspect, when it comes to marriage, and who it calls your spouse or choosing a spouse, there has to be some level of physical maturity, okay, to carry this responsibility of an adult.
Okay.
Because you can't have a baby for a wife, and therefore you are for a husband, and there you have a baby, and by the time the baby comes into the marriage, who is not the senior baby, who is the younger baby? So in terms of physical maturity, the woman should be mature enough to be able to carry pregnancy, for example, and therefore to take responsibility, because that's where age, in terms of body development, because we have to also bring that in a little.
Yes.
Because you can't run it out. So the body must be mature. When you are saying, I want to marry a very young, a very fresh virgin, and then you are not looking for 17, 16, 15, 17 years. I look and see they cannot give birth. But such persons Is it only birth they have come to give in marriage or in life? Therefore, in terms of handling bigger responsibility, okay, and that is required of a body that is mature to handle in terms of, say, driving, doing other things, doing what a matured person should do by reason of age, our body, what counts, or the also concept. So physical maturity is part of the maturity. So looking at the person also, does he or she carry physical maturity?
Okay, that's very, very important also. So you also kind of differentiated physical maturity from mind maturity.
Yes.
Yeah, let's dwell on that. Or we say mental maturity. Yeah. So where you've given some insight to physical maturity now. So how do we correlate both the physical maturity and the mental maturity or the maturity of the mind? So because the physical maturity, the mental maturity, these two things have to go hand in hand. So how do we correlate that? Let's correlate this physical and the mental maturity.
Like I said before, mental development is what enables your leadership. Okay. Because it is your personal, it is the mental development or maturity that makes you, pursue goals with good ideas. Look at things, look from the pessimistic side of you, okay? But from the optimistic point of view. I know that some people are naturally docile, but that's not what I'm talking about. But now, what I'm talking about in mental maturity is your ability, your mental prowess, your intelligence. It is expected that all through the process of growth, you have developed good intelligence, because that's why you go to schools. That's why you learn a trade. So by reason of here and there, like people say that traveling is part of education. Okay, you're traveling, you're not mean within the outside the country, but your relationship here and there has enabled you, particularly when you maintain good friendship with people, whether males or females. It has a rub off on you, and therefore it has a way of developing your side, developing your mentality, your approach to life, and that you are able to see life in the right point of view. That's the maturity. See life from the godly point of view, and that's your faith is alive, your zeal is alive, your joy about life is alive, your strength, your mental strength is at a light, so that you are so positive, and that's when you can even walk the program of God for your life. That's when you can be an encourager. So when you are in this, you have this kind of ability, this development. Therefore, handling relationship or going into marriage, it means you are mentally set. It means you are mentally ready, because then handling responsibility will be much easier, because by the kind of mindset and intelligence, it means you have trained yourself. Like the other episode where I said it is good for the young man, particularly the young man. It's not as if it's not important for the females, but particularly the young man, your ideal and your idea are important. What's your ideally like from? Because it is your mental development that makes you have a good value system. Your value system must be the portals.
Well, how much work have you done where you're developing your mental strength?
And therefore, it will help you have a good value system to approach life, so that it's not all things that glitter you call good. It's not all things that come your way that is acceptable. So you're able to make your choice even among the important things. You're able to tell yourself, this is where I am going, and this is how I am going through. And therefore, in case of any challenge, you're able to take a resolution. In case of any challenge, and in view of challenges, you are not, it's not possible you become childish or fall backwards. You know what to do. You definitely, by your mental development, you should be able to source answer, because that is one of the things about responsibility. For running from pillar to post, you first of all look in. Where do I start from? What do I do? We're able to generate answer from the inside, an ability that will help you take responsibility, no matter how serious it is. You are sure, you are confident of one thing, that by the wisdom of God, as I approach, I'm able to recover all.
Thanks so much, Daddy, for that insights. Number one, under the science of maturity for marriage, realistic view of marriage. If I read what is here, you might not understand. People might not understand, but me, I understand. People have to come to judge, but if I'm wrong, make I know what I think I understand. Those going into marriage should accept, admit, and know that they are going into a boneyard on the tour. They are going into a total different environment. They are going into a different reality. There should be no mentality of going into marriage as a rescue mission. That is the thing. Let me break down to the valley.
You want to use it to solve some problems. There is already problems there. There is already responsibility there. So don't think you are entering marriage yourself to escape certain problems.
Even the man in charge of the Alberca debates. You say you want to run away from something and marry.
And marriage you want to take.
Don't just go give a year.
That's why we are talking about the maturity. And because that's in preparation.
The preparation has to be intact. If you rush into it,
you will rush out.
If all sectors are not well touched up, the physical, we've established the spiritual from the beginning. That has been the basis of our discussion. Then the mental part, you will run out of it.
That's why I said, if you casually enter, he'll casually walk in.
Because you said it here that if you are matured enough to marry, you recognize marriage for what it is. That is, you realize that marriage is not an easy escape from reality or personal problems. It is one of the mistakes happening now. That is it. Because they are running away from
personal problems. So let me just have somebody I make love. I want to run away.
And that's why
if you have not, that is it. If you have not disciplined yourself about sex while you are married, you will still fall apart. You will still look for another beautiful girl. Beauty will not satisfy you. No matter, bring an angel. If you are not disciplined, is a person has not disciplined himself, particularly be made. Bring an angel who is a feeling, he will still fall apart. So marriage is not opportunity to escape personal problems or want to use it to solve situations.
It guarantees the stability of the community and protect the security of children born and that of the entire family.
That is a community. Because now look at this. I don't say that community have been a word. It's tough. If the whole world is narrowed down to the nuclear family.
You get power.
Now, look at. From what you just read now.
Yes, sir.
The illustration here is that marriage it gives security to the children born in it and the welfare of the entire family. Now, in the entire community, take a community for example. When children come from a good home, these other children come from good home, you discover that there will be peace in all of the community, in the whole community. It is when it is marriage that fall apart. That's marriage that is not up to its responsibility. Marriage that is not up to its purpose for what it is. That is why you find certain kind of people in our society. Yeah. I remember those days in Benin. An armed robber terrorized the state. And in fact, it was in news all over Nigeria. When he was caught, he was prosecuted. When the armed robber was caught and prosecuted, the final day of his execution, because he was sentenced to death by firing squad. You know what he did? He said, please, he made one appeal. While facing the firing squad, he's been tied, everything has been done. Okay. Say, please, he wants to see his mother. He wants to see his mother for the CS. Okay. And then, surprisingly, the mother was in the crowd. Okay? And then they called the mother. Mother of a so person, come. I don't want to mention the girl. And the mother actually went. He said, please. His hands have been tied. He said, please, Mama, come, give me your ear. There's information I want to give you. And the mother actually bends very well. I'm reading her ear to hear the information. Then he bite him, Mama. I know what use better English to now. He bite and nearly what cut off the ear. I think we are okay. He nearly what cut off the ear. Hey, don't bite me, don't. In fact, the same soldiers that were to kill the young man, he ever came to the mother's rescue. But he said, why did you do this? He said, when he was grown up, why did the mother, now you see what we are talking about, why did the mother not take enough responsibility to ensure that his life does not end this way? Because when you say children are stubborn, this one, children know that if the father or the mother take their responsibilities very well, particularly their upbringing, their life at least can be managed.
If the mother had done that, he wouldn't have the guts to call her over and to bite her, because it is conscious to that place know that the mother did what she should.
Good. So that is why we are saying that marriage should be, you should have a realistic understanding.
Know what you are going
into. So, and this is not a reason for any young man to be playboy, you boy, you are 35, you are 30 and beyond, you are not saying not being married, not easy. Because you are not ready. Develop yourself and take responsibility. It's not all about money. It's about your ability to cope with yourself and your wife, and you grow from there. Nobody ever had billions before they got married. Go and ask Dangote. Go and ask Okibela. They were not where they are now as at the time they got married. But through the process of life, doggedness, commitment, having good mental prowess and intelligence, and they were able to say through to where they are today. And so we are not saying that this reason this is not enough reason for you to shy away. But to know that if you want to be 100 years, it is still, the responsibility is still waiting for you. So it's not about being very old, the responsibility is still waiting for you. So it's being married off and being prepared to mindfully handle marriage and family the way it should be, will all pleasing to God.
Wow, wow. It's so intriguing. Well, talking about the parental factor you were trying to analyze just now, there's a part here talking about the maturity and so on. Okay, we've dwelled on understanding love to a reasonable extent. I want us to self-evaluation. We've talked about that. So, constructive problem-solving skill. So, while flipping through, you will like take a proper look at your family background. Notice the contribution it has made in your development into who and what you are today. This also suggests what you are likely to bring from your background into marriage. So, while explaining the one that was prosecuted and all, this came to my mind. How do we relate this? Family background, upbringing, parental factor. How do these things, affect the positivity of marriage in one way or the other?